I'm Peter Austin, that is a fart-powered streetlight, and this is interesting. When I first had the idea for this video, I thought it would entail getting into the car, driving all the way down to the city of Durham, and standing in front of this fairly innocuous-looking bit of rusty urban furniture in South Bailey Street. My understanding was that it was a rather unique object, with the only other of its kind being down in London. But when I did a bit more research on the subject, I realised that while these things are indeed very rare in the 21st century, there just so happens to be a collection of 14 of them right here in my own backyard. So come with me, but maybe hold your nose as we track down North Tyneside's Edwardian fart lamps. In 1858, London was plagued, quite literally, by what became known as the Great Stink. The hot summer of that year caused the already smelly and cholera-causing River Thames to produce an overwhelming stench. Charles Dickens described it as a smell of a most head and stomach distending nature, and who could blame him, because the source of the stench was the endless stream of raw sewage being emptied directly into the river by the city's inadequate infrastructure. Although this isn't actually the Thames, by the way, but you get the picture, right? The point is, something had to be done, and long story short, civil engineer Joseph Bazalgette implemented a new sewerage system in the early 1860s, the largest in the world at the time, that's still in use to this very day. Now, this certainly helped clean up the river and quell London's cholera epidemic, but it also created a new problem: sewer gas. The sheer scale of this new tunnel system meant that in certain places there could be a significant buildup of hydrogen sulfide, methane and ammonia. This noxious cocktail at the very least had the potential to leak out and befoul the atmosphere like an unwanted throwback to the Great Stink of '58, but also, under the right conditions, it could ignite, causing explosions with the potential to damage property, harm passers-by and create a shower of excrement. Lovely. Something else had to be done. Enter another talented engineer, Birmingham's Joseph Edmund Webb, inventor of the sewer gas destructor lamp, well over a dozen of which still exist in and around Whitley Bay in the northeast of England. Webb's ingenious lamp was first patented in 1892 and then in 1895 in the US, and his simple accompanying diagram makes it quite clear how it works. Though it might look like an ordinary lamp on the surface, its street lighting function is really just an added bonus. You see, beneath the decorative cast iron structure was a vertical pipe leading directly down into the sewer system. This pipe would draw up the sewer gas into the base of the lamp, where it would be safely burned off far above the heads, or more specifically the noses, of the local residents. Or that was the theory, anyway. In the prototyping phase, though, it was discovered that there wasn't always a sufficient supply of this gas to keep the flame lit at all times. And if it went out, then the lamp suddenly became nothing more than a vent that allowed later buildups of gas to escape to the surface unburnt, causing the very smells at street level it had been created to prevent in the first place. Also, even when there was a supply of sewer gas down below, there wasn't always a sufficient current to bring it up the pipe as intended. But Webb wasn't fazed by this and simply adjusted the design so that each lamp would also be hooked up to the city's gas supply that fueled all of the ordinary streetlights. This meant the lamps would never go out and helped to create a consistent current that would continuously draw up sewer gases that might not have risen into the lamp on their own. In fact, when operating at their best, the lamps could ventilate almost a mile's worth of sewer tunnels. So, from the end of the Victorian period right up to the mid-20th century, hundreds of these lamps, jokingly referred to as fart lamps by the Edwardians, were erected across Britain. They mainly appeared in hilly towns and cities where undulations in the sewer network allowed for more build-ups of gas, and it's for this reason that Sheffield also has many preserved examples. Sadly though, most of Britain's, let's face it, rather beautiful sewer gas destructor lamps were removed over time thanks to improvements in sewage management and changes in street lighting infrastructure, and almost all of the surviving ones are no longer lit, although London does still have one functioning example, albeit a heavily restored one, in the most unlikely of places. This lamp is located on Carting Lane, where to this day it burns foul, fart-like gases right through the night from its position just behind the world-famous and decidedly swanky Savoy Hotel. I'm going to guess that the staff there aren't particularly vocal about the existence of their flatulent streetlight, or the fact that Carting Lane is sometimes affectionately nicknamed Farting Lane. I've been Peter Austin, and that was interesting. Special thanks, by the way, to Tammy Tour Guide for her invaluable article on this subject, and to Ernie Arrowsmith for suggesting part of this video. You can submit your own interesting suggestions in the comments below.